Yesterday, we saw the NHL trade freeze end, and we saw a trade right away as the Colorado Avalanche sent Sam Girard to the Penguins in exchange for Brett Kulak. The full trade was Pittsburgh acquiring Samuel Girard and a 2028 second-round pick from the Avalanche, and then just Brett Kulak going over to Colorado. So starting on Colorado's end of the deal, you get Brett Kulak, who's a 32-year-old left-shot defenseman who was pretty excellent for the Oilers over the last few seasons. He put up really solid defensive results in a second, third pair role, stepped up big time, was second on the team in ice time amongst defensemen at 5-on-5, and led the team in shorthanded minutes due to the Mattias Ekholm injury during the Oilers' playoff run last season. And then unfortunately, the Oilers did have to deal him in the Tristan Jarry-Stuart Skinner trade just for salary reasons. So then he ended up in Pittsburgh, and it seemed pretty clear that Pittsburgh wasn't intending on keeping him. He is on the final year of his contract, making $2.75 million. Now, when it comes to the salary, you're saving $2.25 million in terms of cap hit. Most of Kulak's contract has already been paid out. There's only $745,000 that they have to pay him for the remainder of the season. And like I said, Kulak's expiring, so you don't have to pay him next season. Girard was signed up for next season at that $5 million cap hit. And I do like the fit of Kulak in Colorado. He's slotted in on that third pair with Sam Malinsky, who's more of an offensively leaning defenseman. Colorado's D-core has enough, mobility, puck-moving offense with Makar, Burns, and Malinsky. So Sam Girard, he really didn't have a place there. He's been in trade rumors for a long time, and obviously that contract isn't helping. It's not that bad, but $5 million is a lot to pay for a defenseman who doesn't really have a role with the team that, he once did. But I like Kulak as a shutdown guy, third pair, penalty killer for this team. And with the cap space, maybe they go out and make another move at the deadline. Looking at their lineup, I really like the top six. Maybe you could use an upgrade in the top six on the wing, just because Gabriel Landeskog, he isn't exactly the player he once was. Or maybe you go for a bottom six center. I do like those centers. Drury is very solid, but maybe you want a bona fide, elite third line center. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Avs do with this new cap space. When it comes to their assets, they don't have any picks in the first 3 rounds this year, but they do have 9 picks in the last 4 rounds and 2 second-round picks next year. Not much in terms of prospects, but maybe they'll be able to make something work here. So yeah, overall for the Avs side of this deal, I like the fit of Kulak, I like the new cap space, but obviously second-round pick and Girard's a lot to pay. I'd probably give them like a B+ grade. And then taking a look at the Penn side of the deal, you get Sam Girard, 27-year-old left shot defenseman, really great skater, having a down year offensively wise, only 12 points in 40 games, and he's not really, the physical shutdown type defenseman. This year and next year at $5 million, most of it's been paid this year, of course. Pittsburgh's had a very, surprising season. They currently sit second in the Metro Division, and they're 1 point up on the Islanders over third place, and then 4 over the Blue Jackets and the Caps in the wild card race. Unfortunately, though, Sidney Crosby is going to be missing at least the next 4 weeks due to an injury, so the Penguins might be in trouble. I would not be surprised if we see them fall off, but I've been saying that all season and they still haven't. But Girard, he is a puck-moving D, and they do have some of that with Letang and Carlson. Obviously, those guys will be on the power play, so he probably won't be on the power play, but I think he can still be an effective second-pair guy for this team. And then you get the second-round pick in 2028. They actually have 3 second-round picks that season, and then multiple in 26 and 27, on top of 2 third-round picks each season as well. And I think overall the number was like 34 draft picks over the next 3 seasons. Absolutely ridiculous. Kyle Dubas has just been cooking with the asset management over the last year or so, just collecting draft capital and prospects. And I think he's actually setting up the Penguins for a very solid future post-Crosby era. There's a lot of concern about that in the recent years. They're in such an intriguing situation. They don't have a single player on the books for more than 3 seasons. You've got Malkin, Hayes, Mantha, Achari, Dewar, and Chinnikov up this season. Chinnikov is an RFA, and he's actually been very solid there since coming over from the Blue Jackets. And on the D-core, Letang and Graves are the only ones signed for more than 2 seasons. You've got Carlson, Girard, Witherspoon, Jones, St. Ivany, Shea, Clifton coming off the books. And both their goalies are expiring this season. Shelovs is an RFA, though. And I would not be surprised if we saw Skinner moved before the deadline. So Pittsburgh's going to be one of these teams to keep a close eye on. If they start to lose without Crosby, are we going to see that massive, UFA fire sale? If they keep it up, maybe they try and add at the deadline and go for one last playoff run with Sid, Malkin, Letang in the core. But yeah, as for grade on the trade, I'd say it's an A+ for the Penguins. I really don't see any downside to this. You get the draft pick, you get a solid defenseman in exchange for a guy who you took on as a cap dump in the Skinner for Jari trade. So those are my thoughts on this deal. Let me know yours down below in the comments. I apologize for being late to this one, just haven't had time to sit down and record. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.